bar, and you know the rules. I don't have to repeat them. Today was interesting because Maze showed me. Now we all know Raylos are crazy, but this chick is not only on Twitter, but she's on TikTok, and she's one of those morbidly obese girls who insists that all men have to date her, even if they're not attracted to her, even if they think she's a pig. And she's nuts. She's batshit. I might ask Baz Taylor if he will save some of her stuff. So, hey, Grandmaster, Macerus. But I gotta say, I might have Baz Taylor save some of her stuff just so I can make a mocking video of her. I'm gonna do it, Mace. I'm gonna do it. I haven't mocked anybody in a long time. So I'm wearing one of my new T-shirts. See, I got another one too, and it's the same thing. Here it is, but it's also got the crawl. So that's pretty cool, huh? And I'm pretty happy about that. Anyway, so Den of Nerds, who's a friend of Star Wars Theory. So I give people who hang out with Star Wars Theory a little more credit than people who hang out Star Wars. I give people who hang out on Midnight's Edge, Star Wars Theory, Doomcock, Clownfish, Culture Casino, and Lorena Creole a lot more credit than I do other YouTubes because they know what they're talking about. In fact, when Doomcock brought in Valiant Renegade to do the updates, there's a certain way of looking at the financial things, and I really wish people would stop being worried about the content anymore. Because, I mean, Bob Chapek himself said that they were going to a distribution model which is in favor of the fans. Give the fans what they want. And I think they're going after Star Wars in a different way. Hey, Deborah, how are you doing? Ladies and gentlemen, Deborah Young, we found each other on Echo Base Network, too. Echo Base Network. They're, though Nick and Coach are fantastic people. I can tell them things that I've heard that I can't tell anybody else, and I know they're not going to tell anybody. It's really interesting how the world has sort of opened up in a way I didn't expect. But if a door closes, a window closes, a door will open, and lots of doors have been opening lately, and it's fantastic. But anyway, so cheers, Deborah. I'm glad you're here. But anyway, yeah, I don't. If it's somebody just a raving fanboy, and we know who they are, we know what they are. I ignore them anymore. Clickbait, you got to ignore. Doomcock doesn't do clickbait. He just talks about stuff he's heard, and he always couches it with a grain of salt. It is a rumor, but it's weird how lots of stuff he talks about ends up being true. Okay, but for instance, so Josh at Den of Nerds brought up George Lucas again yesterday. You might ask, why? Well, it appears that George Lucas is not only writing two of the episodes for Andor, but he's executive producing it, apparently. Now, this hasn't been confirmed. Variety hasn't reported la-di-da, but nothing has been changed from that on the IMDb. And it just looks as if George has taken an interest in Andor. Now, why? Well, Cassian Andor is a boring character, but he is a gateway to many other characters. Orson Krennic, Galen Erso, Han Solo. George wanted to make a Han Solo movie. He loves the character. We all do. I think he probably feels the same way about Han that I do. I think he feels like he's been done dirty. And don't be surprised. Yeah, it is. Well, Revan, I think he actually did take a interest in The Mandalorian because his fingerprints are all over it. I don't think they did anything without talking to him first. Okay. You can tell a good Star Wars from shit. Okay. The sequel trilogy is shit, all of it. Solo is shit. And there you go. But anyway, so we've got this show that no one wanted that suddenly now we're all interested in. Why? Because George Lucas is likely involved. I would say, and I'm going to say this is a theory of mine. Don't yell at me and scream. That if he's involved with Andor, he's probably got his fingers in everything that is going on. Yeah, it is. Grogu is literally George Lucas. If you look at it, you take away the E's, the A, and the S, you've got, and the L, you've got George Lucas, you've got Grogu. I just ate some Nature's whatever popcorn, so I've got whatever. Anyway, you guys, this is cool if this is true. And now let's talk about the financial ramifications. Because so many people like Matt Kadish, want to sit there, no, this is never going to happen. First off, if you're a movie person, you should be understanding that money talks, bullshit walks. And the reason why they went woke is because they thought they could make money at it. And guess what? They're not making any money at it. And you're going to soon and slowly see wokeism disappear. Why? Because they can't make money at it. And kissing ass with China has failed. Sure, Fast and Furious 9 made all that money. Hollywood didn't see a fucking dime. Okay, wrap your mind around that. I had a friend, and you guys know who I talk about, Lee Scott. He owns American Biograph Pictures. He basically said the Chinese rob Hollywood blind. That was 4 years ago. That was 4 years ago. So you're going to see them decouple themselves. The rumor that, I mean, in fact, even the Biden administration is saying, oh, we may not want to really hang out with the Chinese too much. I mean, even, hey, Senator Dave, even those fuckers are saying it. Okay? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. So, yeah, you're going to see, I mean, Bob Chapek, there was a rumor, he was asking Donald Trump, God bless him, his DOJ, how do you want me to handle the Chinese situation? Here's the deal. The Chinese could go into Hong Kong and Shanghai and take the parks, and Disney would have nothing. All right? They don't own the parks. They lease the parks. And even if they owned the Hong Kong park outright, the commies don't give a shit. They're not commies, they're Nazis. I said the bad word. Is YouTube gonna kill my algorithm? I don't care. That's what they are. Here's the reason why I'm going to segue to this for a second. The reason why I look at the Chinese and call them fascists now is because they allow wealthy people, billionaires, to have private property as long as they kiss the party's ass. That sound like a country back in Europe in the 30s, two of them? I mean, let's put it this way. Benito Mussolini was a socialist. And before he took over as dictator of Italy, and he was dictator of Italy from, like, I think 1921. Okay. The people in Italy didn't want socialists. But the moment he rebranded his ideas as fascism, they all jumped at it. Think about it. It's all about branding. But with the Chinese, it's all about what, I'm going to say this and it sounds sick, the most efficient form of government is sadly fascism. But I have to ask Americans, do you want to be dependent on the government or a corporate state? Because that is what fascism is. Okay? This is what we have right now, by the way. So you all just sit and marinate in that for a little bit. Okay? There's a reason why they want to run mom and pop restaurants and mom and pop stores and little companies out of business. Corporatism, globalism. But globalism is dying. Okay? This is why China wants the Pacific. They know that. Here's the deal. We're literally living through China's, yeah, but what about us moment? Because we had it, the Russians had it, we kicked the Russians' ass, and we were the biggest frog in the pond. And it's weird. If you have a lot and you're living through prosperity, you tend to breed and raise soft, pussy people. Here you go. It's really interesting. I would advise you guys, if you want to see someone who really goes out of his way to understand man and how mankind exists side by side with nature, go to the YouTube channel Meat Eater and check out Steve Rinella. He's a hunter. He is not a trophy hunter. He would like to shoot a big buck. He would like to shoot a big bull elk, but he shows people, well, hey, Jeremy, what it's like to actually be a hunter. And he eats a lot of stuff that I wouldn't touch. I mean, let's put it this way. I just watched a video where he put a coyote gutted with its skin on a grill, like they do it in Thailand. And I'm like, I could live a long time and never have a coyote. I don't give a flying hell how hungry I am, but you will never see me eat a coyote. And I gladly eat octopus, etc., etc. Okay, so there we are. So we're done. That segues over. So George Lucas, apparently, according to Jason at Denver Nerds, is doing 2 episodes of Andor and executive producing. Here's, again, what I think that means is I think he is very much involved. If this is true, he is far more involved with the restructuring that Taika Waititi mentioned in that interview. You can sit there and not believe me, Matt Kadish, all you want, Matt Kadish. I still don't care. Taika Waititi said it in an interview. Go pound sand, little man. This is happening. Well, Deborah, Hans, my guy. Maze knows this. I just, it's really funny. Let's segue into this for a second. The reason why I'm a Star Wars fan, and I've said this before, I'll say it again, is because in 1977, I'll get to that, Grandmaster Jim, if I remember. In 1977, the Sunday when it opened up nationwide, Star Wars, my sister Chris, her boyfriend, and I think my sister Joan, and her boyfriend, and me, I got to tag along, went to see Star Wars. And we were watching it, and I thought it was, I thought it was kind of like all the rest of those weird sci-fi things my brother Jim liked to watch. And I'd be like, why are we watching this? I was 9 years old. I had no idea. We get to the cantina. We're seeing all this weird shit. And then this guy slides into a booth. And I was like, Barry Gibb. Who's Barry Gibb? I mean, because I had a crush on Barry Gibb. Barry Gibb was he was back. He was in the rearview mirror. Harrison Ford has been my lifelong crush, I think, for forever. I mean, here's the thing about Harrison Ford. He would have been a movie star in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, anytime. Now, we get skinny soy boy pussies that no one forgets, like Chris Evans, or no one remembers, like Chris Evans and others that I can't. Okay, I just, I must just be on. I must have just been on as a girl. You know what I'm saying? Because, Harrison Ford is just, even now, I mean, Gospel of Mark with a C, I love Mark, did a video where he basically said that, Harrison is in London filming right now, and people are bugging him, and he's like, get the fuck out of my way. Paparazzi and just fans, if you go up to a guy and he's working, and you ask him for his autograph, you are an asshole. I have his autograph though, but it's upstairs, and we know this. Okay? If you're there to get a selfie, you're an asshole. If there's a reason to get a selfie, like a red carpet line and you get lucky, I see that. But if he's working, if he's eating dinner with his family, if he's eating dinner by himself, if he's sitting at the bar by himself and he just wants to be left alone, and you're like, can I have your autograph? Can I get a selfie? You're a fucking asshole. And if you're a paparazzi, go sit on a branch and stare at people because you're a vulture. Okay. I don't have a problem with him saying that. And I love my British peeps. I have a really good British friend who keeps me up to date on what's going on there. And he's probably watching this and laughing his ass off. He's also one of my main intelligence gatherers. And I gotta say, he would never do that. He would never do that. You would have, I'll give you an example. And I wasn't the biggest fan of Reggie Jackson, but my mom was in Boston for my sister Rose's wedding with her sisters. And they were all at breakfast, and Reggie Jackson is in a booth by himself drinking coffee, eating his breakfast. He had been in town, New York Yankees, playing the Red Sox. And Janice went over to get his autograph, and my Aunt Janice, who, when she was younger, was the pinup girl for her husband's unit during World War II. All right, she was, Rita Hayworth would have cried if she'd have seen my Aunt Janet. My Aunt Janet was gorgeous. Janice was gorgeous. So Mom goes, oh, hell no. So she gets up, tiny little blonde helmet head from the very early 80s, marches up and says, my daughter doesn't like you, but can I get your autograph for her? I mean, even I, as a young teenager, like 12 or 13, was going, why did you say that to him? He gave her his autograph. She was that bitch. Okay, my mom was that bitch. But you don't do that. So if you're out in London and you see Harrison Ford, and he looks like he's happy, content, just doing what he's doing, leave him alone. There are plenty of places you can buy the autograph. They're reputable. Go do that. Leave him alone. It is meaningless if you've met him. That doesn't mean anything. He doesn't know who you are. And then when he walks away, still Saunders, he won't know who you were. Do you know how many people that man has met? Do you? Maybe millions. I don't know. He'd never remember me. You want to know what? That's fine. That's fine. Leave him alone. Okay. So I don't mind him saying, get the fuck out of my way. Okay. He's a busy guy. Anyway. So George. Back to George. Let's talk about George. George. So let's go back. So why would he come back? It's his baby. They fucked it up. There's one reason. There's another reason. Disney is bleeding money. I just had somebody else, I actually think it was Josh, saying, well, who was that? Maybe it wasn't. Saying, they made their money back with Star Wars, buying Lucasfilm. No, they didn't. Everybody keeps repeating gross box office, not net. And net box office is different than gross. They made about $2 billion on Star Wars. Okay. They invested about $7 billion with the parks included. If they'd have taken that 4.05 or 4.3 or whatever it was and put it in the bank, they'd have maybe $12 billion right now that they could probably use. So when people say, it grossed for blah, 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 no, it didn't. This is why they're making changes. This is why Bob Chapek's like, are you shitting me? This is why he's like, we can't go woke anymore. We can't. So now I'm going to tell you something. It looks like Marvel is, because that's been in the planning stages. If Marvel goes woke and Star Wars gets fixed, I have no fucks given. I don't care. I am not a Marvel fan. I don't care. Okay. Bye. Sayonara. See you later. Fix Star Wars. Okay, that's what I want. If they fix that, then everything else will happen. All right. So George, so the financial things, they need the money. I can see Disney reaching out after The Mandalorian, and his input obviously was something. And I'm going to say this. After the last episode of Bad Batch, it sure as hell seems like he had something to do with that. Because it was very dark, very gritty, and it was just the right amount of holy shit to keep us wanting to come back. Okay, if you don't think he's involved, you have to know an artist. You can sit there and look at a painting and say that Vincent van Gogh painted that, and you'd be right. Or Monet painted that, or Monet painted that, or Turner painted that. Same goes with a filmmaker or a storyteller. That person told that story. That person helped tell that story. This is how I know Mando was fostered along the way by George Lucas. And maybe at this point, George was fostering Bad Batch. I don't care what anybody says. I really don't. You know, I'm a koala in the rain and I have no fucks given. I don't care. Anyway, so there's money involved. I can see Disney going, hey, you know, what's going on with Mando is great. John, as obviously your heir apparent, but we really need you to help us out. And I can see the meeting happening that Doomcock talked about. So now we've got Andor. Andor could be the gateway drug to a lot of really, really good shit. Okay. So do I think it's true? 75% inside of me says it's true. You know, Cameron Pasha said It wouldn't surprise him, and he said this 4 years ago, that George Lucas will buy back part of Star Wars. Now, Doomcock walked back that prediction, but that doesn't mean that the first one wasn't true. Don't be surprised. Bob Chapek is not Bob Iger. All right? We have a whole different idea going on. And Bob Iger is desperately trying to save his legacy. So let's go to the Reddit leak. So yesterday, while I was screwing around and doing what I do, I discovered that the Reddit leaker who talked about, oh, everything is sunshine and unicorn farts with Jon Favreau and Kathleen. She wants him to take over Star Wars and Lucasfilm. Oh, sure she does. Yes, yes. I would bet any money on that at all that she does. Okay, that was off of her desk. That was a leak from about 75 days ago that came out. Okay, 2 weeks after that, I was screwing around on Reddit and I was like, holy fuck. Another leak came out from the same person. Desperately trying to defend Ruin, JJ, and KK, saying they didn't have enough time to make a good trilogy, and it's all Alan Horn's fault. Now, Alan Horn is leaving Lucasfilm, or Disney. He's being thrown under the bus. If you look at that leak, and I can get you the link to it, you're going to see that basically, if this is true, giant horse choking grain of salt, if this is true, he was the only person who saw what was going on and said, no, we can't do this. Now, they're trying to say he was racist against John Boyega. He realized they were going to try to market this movie to China. He knows the Chinese are racists. He didn't think having a black man as a lead was a good idea for China, for the Chinese box office. All right, I understand that. These are all business decisions. This doesn't make it right, but it makes it a business decision. The Kelly Marie Tran thing also would rub the Chinese the wrong way. First off, they made her look unattractive. Second of all, they put her with Boyega. The Chinese aren't even where we were in the 60s with black and white couples. Okay, they're not even there yet. And they're just lousy characters. And honestly, when I look at Finn and Rose Tico, they're terrible characters. We didn't, you know what? If you're gonna do a black Jedi, then do it right, or don't do it at all. If you're gonna do a black stormtrooper who leaves, do it right or don't do it at all. Okay, if you're gonna do an Asian, whatever she was supposed to be, and make her kind of important, do it right or don't do it at all. Those are my problems. There's absolutely no redeeming quality to either of them. I'm sorry. Finn could have had potential, and it was gone. I personally I don't care about him. When I watched The Force Awakens, when I think about it now, I didn't feel like I was watching a Star Wars movie. I didn't. I really, really didn't. Harrison Ford was cosplaying Han Solo. Carrie Fisher was cosplaying Leia. That was it. I was like, and Anthony Daniels is walking around with one arm red. With that stupid comment, you might not recognize me because I have a red arm. What the fuck? I don't know. I'm like, so anyway, I'm on here for a half hour. I'm going to be, yeah, they were. And you're right, Jeremy. But I'm going to rock because I don't know what's going on outside. But anyway, Yeah, well, the music sucked. TFA music sucked. In fact, the music for the entire sequel trilogy sucked. And if they go back and fix it, I don't know how they're going to do it. I really don't know how. Because the music of Star Wars is a big part of it. So I don't know. But anyway, that Reddit leak, though, I'm going to say this. Kennedy and JJ are desperate to throw Alan Horn under the bus. And he's leaving, so he's convenient. I mean, my favorite thing was they tried desperately to say the trilogy, but Alan Horn, Mays read that, and he was like, I was like, what? He wanted Star Wars to be Star Wars. You fuckers were all worried about diversity because when you look at that thing, it's all about we wanted this person and this person and this person. Nothing about doing it right. I was shocked and appalled. I was shocked and appalled. I was like, I guess quota filling is how you do movies now. Storytelling, whatever. I'm shocked at this. I am literally. So anyway, I gotta go. It is 5:20. I was gonna stay on a little longer, but I'm not. So anyway, I gotta run. And you guys have a great afternoon. Have a great what's left of Sunday, and happy Father's Day to everybody who are dads. And love you all. See you around the galaxy. Behave yourself.